What's up, y'all? Show's most that's most crispy back in that video. The I went out. The curse had become successful. The curse become too successful. Yeah, the curse occurred. Yeah, the curse becoming too successful. What it said it was encouraged. No, curse got off. Oh, see, yes, yeah, I'm tripping. Yeah, I'm tripping. Whatever. Don't mind that. If you're new to the channel, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, follow our social media. It's gonna pop on screen. We're on the road to 500, and let's get on to this video.
Being too successful is a problem that everyone wants to have. My steak is too juicy, my lobster is too buttery is a sentence that we all want to say unironically. And there's nothing wrong with that, until you actually get what you wish for, because on the other side, sometimes it's not that glamorous. YouTuber TheOdd1sOut exemplifies this. Man, what happened to this YouTube channel? It used to be so full of life and character. Now all the old videos that made me chuckle are deleted. His video's simplistic charm is replaced with bright, flashy designs, the complete opposite of what I signed up for. The downfall of this channel makes me so sad. It's been on a steep decline since 2019. It honestly feels like James is making videos just for money now. James has lost a lot of his whimsy and humor that I watched him for in the first place. At one point, TheOdd1sOut, real name James Rallison, was one of the best storytellers on YouTube. He made simple stories about annoying days at work or crappy roommates the most interesting and funniest thing ever. He had a very unique style of making these animated YouTube videos that originated from his style of making comics. At the mere age of 16, he was posting tons of these comics on Tumblr, and they were simple enough to get a quick laugh. Whether it's jokes about animals or asking girls out, these were pretty simple comics that were made in his free time. If you were a high schooler with a passion for arts but not as much of a passion for sports, well, then comics were a good outlet. After posting 100 comics on Tumblr, he gained 100 followers, which for him was pretty big. It was here where he developed this white, roundish character that now is known as the Marshmallow People design. This inspired him to make his first ever YouTube video. And for a first video, it's almost as amateur as you can imagine.
So you know those books you make in elementary school that you write as a class, and some publishing company makes them into a real book so your family can buy copies?
These would develop into other storytime videos about him in preparatory school, and Boy Scouts, and living in Arizona.
Man, we never did that elementary, son. Man, I know I would have been a good book writer, a cartoon book writer. I would have just never known what to write the words. I'd probably just draw the strips, like you know how Captain Underpants and Bones and Big Nate had all the they had words, but you know, it's what it is. I would have had I would have been him. Yeah, I would have been him. But really elementary, and they want, succeed, let your boy do it. They ain't have plans of doing it.
These were simple storytime videos, but a lot of the real bread and butter came from his thought pieces. Like, for example, the weird things he would do as an adult.
Things that I do that adults probably don't do. I close my closet door before I go to sleep every night.
No, he's not the only one. Hey, this closet though, stay closed. Stay closed. I don't care what big age I am. I could be 30 years old. This closet would still be closed. And the door in my room would be closed. Nothing would be wide open. Window closed. Curtains shut. I don't want to see no type of sunlight. Nothing but pitch dark in here. The only thing should be playing is the TV. Facts. That's the only thing should be playing in my the TV or my phone or my iPad.
This style was pretty unique and authentic, and a lot of people really felt drawn to it. Now, he wasn't posting super frequently, as over the past 2 years, he would only post a handful of YouTube videos, a decent amount of which are now deleted. But each video saw a noticeable improvement in the production.
I kind of low-key related on the one. Some of them videos I low-key kind of related to. But why people like delete their videos and stuff like that? All their old videos, so that's just like really bad, and they feel cringe about it. I mean, it happens.
Audio and the writing. But even these small amount of videos would help him gain up to 100,000 subscribers, which honestly is pretty crazy. This was a sign for James to really step a lot more forward in the YouTube direction, because clearly this was working. So right after, he would drop the series that made him who he is today, the Subway series. Or should I say, the Subway series. In the video, he literally just talked about his experience working there and some of the funny stories he collected.
I used to work at a very small local sandwich shop. I don't know if any of you guys heard of it. It's called Subway.
But this video would start start an insane domino effect because that very same month he would gain 278,000 subscribers in just a single month. He continued with more of these videos, his experience with roommates, the 7-day vegan challenge, thoughts on sports. These videos would get tens of millions of views. His Subway series sequel got over 100 million views. For a simple storytime video, that is insane. To get those kind of views, you would have to post a crazy popular music video or a Mr. Beast type of stunt. It shows just how charismatic his character really was and how many people were drawn to it. Only 4 months after hitting 100k, he would break the 1 million mark. In another 6 months, James would get 2 million subscribers, and a year later, he would get 5 million subscribers. Originally, he was making these videos in his college apartment while on a path to be a math teacher, but seeing how successful these videos were, he decided, I'm just gonna do this full time. When you get this amount of subs, that's kind of what you do.
You wanna know something sad? I've earned more money from the 2 Subway videos I made about working at Subway than I did actually working at Subway for over a year.
The TheOdd1sOut 2016 run was legendary. There was not a single miss in this man's drop. Real fans know exactly what I'm talking about. Storytime videos were really trending at this time on YouTube. And usually the style was a person just sitting in front of a camera with
don't know what, none of that. He just show up. I do not know who the people is, but that is kind of low-key bad example. I low-key give you like my 2016 like people's story. I said the Swoozie, Young Dante when he was actually the animation was fire. What's that female? The Jasmine girl? That's what her name was? Jasmine, Jazzy, whatever her name was. Jasmine chick. It was another animator too. He used to write anime too. And he was clean with it too. But I always wanted to start an anime, but I was never that good with
title
it.
exaggerating the actual content of the story. But James stood out here because he wasn't exaggerating anything, and honestly, his animation gave the story a lot more flavor. It was simple, but definitely above average. The characters and the drawings gave the story a certain level of charm and added to the humor really well. You wouldn't be able to tell the same type of jokes if you were to do this without the animation. James was a relatable person. He was working a crappy fast food job, he was shy, and ranting about a bunch of different things that people could genuinely relate to. It felt so refreshing to see someone act like this during an era of vlogs where people were constantly showing off their lavish lifestyle. With James, there was no drama. Even when it came to serious politics, he knew how to address the situation without making too big of a deal about it.
So this is actually the first election that I'm old enough to vote in, so I'm really happy for my choices. I was actually really torn about this issue. I couldn't see myself voting for either Trump or Hillary, but then I missed the deadline to register to vote. So that problem took care of itself.
James's growth easily had one of the quickest and most sporadic growths that a YouTuber could have. It quickly went from a shy introvert in Arizona to becoming a very popular figure. And he had a very big influence on YouTube's future. It's worthy to say that he was one of the pioneers of the animated storytelling era. To this day, that's a very big genre that you see with many other YouTubers too. It feels like so many YouTubers nowadays do a similar thing where they animate stories from their crappy jobs at fast food or at college or any other relatable environment and quickly get tons of views for it.
I thought about watching this stuff on the channel low key, but I don't know. I don't know. Not yet. Maybe one day. It was another dude too who he draw like a little stick animation. He got a blue shirt on, with a brown hair and stuff like that. And he sounded like so like weird genetic. I think he told a story how his sister had went to a court, got divorced on live television or something like that, if y'all know what I'm talking about.
If you really think about it, it's a cheat code for views. And many of them aren't even that super quality. They kind of almost intentionally downgrade the quality of it to make it more charming. By 2018, James had sporadically become so popular that he honestly developed a brand that was bigger than himself. He started to show his face a lot more, which made him recognizable apart from the character. He appeared with other big creators like Logan Paul and Mr. Beast. He moved to California and even broke the 10 million subscriber mark. But this unfortunately was where we saw the downfall start. Now, James was still extremely consistent with his videos. He posted his most popular video at this time with the singer Boy in the Band. While this video got an insane amount of views, it's safe to say it didn't age the best in terms of its humor, and also because Boy in the Band had quite a lot of allegations. But regardless, tons of his other videos were still popping off like crazy, like the Spider and Bees video that got over 100 million views. Nothing short of crazy. But at the same time, TheOdd1sOut became less of a content creator and more of a brand. He started to sell products, lots of products. Now, some of these were creative, like a plush toy that came with a signed card, which honestly I actually bought when this came out. And that's a pretty awesome thing to sell to your fans. But then it kind of started to go into some products that honestly weren't really that great and came off as cash grabs. In July 2018, he dropped his very first book, TheOdd1sOut, How to Be Cool and Other Things I Definitely Learned from Growing Up. It was sold in Targets nationwide, which is a huge accomplishment for anyone who's an author. The thing is, a lot—
Hey, y'all copying this book? Might have to copy the book. Might read it to y'all when you're on the street. We might read a page or two or three. Might need to read a book to y'all.
A lot of this book just simply contained word-for-word passages from some of his videos. It defeats the whole point of buying the book. Why would you spend extra money to read something that you can watch on YouTube for free? The point of the book is to add new content that people have not received yet. Albeit, maybe it was done to reduce risk or something, but still, it seemed kind of pointless. And this is a very big complaint from a lot of fans, but it seems like they did learn from this when he dropped his second book, which didn't really seem to have that same issue. Around the same time, he released the board game Can't Catch Harry. And while this game has some pretty sick designs and pieces, it's gotten a lot of criticism for being a pretty big ripoff of the game Spoons. In both games, you rapidly pass cards to the left trying to collect 4 of a kind. The moment you get 4 of a kind, you must grab a physical object from the center of the table, which triggers everyone else to scramble to grab one as well. And maybe some of these aren't a big deal, but the epitome of this easily was his mobile game Let's Bounce, because this one really exposed some of his bad intentions. Now, the game was one of those vertical jumper distance games, kind of almost a little bit like Jetpack Joyride if it was just like made on a $5 budget. You're basically trying to reach a certain distance while also avoiding obstacles.
That's that Mexican bull game. If y'all know what I'm talking about, bro, you gotta buy power-ups and you get go high. And then once you go, like, you could go to like the moon and stuff like that. And when you shoot down, it just depends how many score. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
But the problem with this was that this went against something that James himself has criticized and ranted about. He has literally claimed himself that mobile games are a complete scam and intentionally target children to spend the money from their parents' credit card because they don't know the true value of money.
The first legal scam is mobile games. I was doing a show with this 9-year-old kid named Araya, and in the show he was going to punch me like this. And one day while we were rehearsing, Araya asked me, "Can I play some games on your phone?" He downloaded a free game, and inside the game you could buy a VIP member version that gave you extra lives and more skins. The thing that was a scam was that the app gave you the VIP member free for 3 days, then charged you $6 a week. No one is willing to pay a weekly bill for a game where all you do is this. But 100% of the people who paid for the subscription are kids using their parents' phone and bought the VIP pass because they have no concept of money. And you don't even have to enter in your credit card information, so it's easier for kids just to hit the purchase 6,000 gems button. It's targeting kids, and I don't like it. Scam. My proposal to fix this scam is to ban mobile games entirely and everyone play Tetris 99.
This entire game is literally everything that James has criticized himself. The game has credits that you can use to purchase to get advantages in the game that are designed to be as appealing as possible to children. I mean, who else is downloading these games? And yeah, James obviously had no part in designing the game, but he did sign away his rights to be used.
I'm not gonna hold you. I know he's talking bad crazy about this. I am about to play this as soon as this video get off. Like, I'm not gonna hold you. I might need to play this on my iPad.
For it. He did understand what the game was and allowed them to use his name and likeness. And the only reason he did that was for the intention of profit. This got James so much backlash that he had to delete the actual announcement video for the game. And if you think that's shady, there also were some pretty shady things going on his merch store website. YouTuber Gug pointed out that on the merch store, almost all of the items were discounted to be very, very cheap during a sale. And we're not talking like 20 to 30% off. We're talking like 95% off. But this sale was happening almost every single week and was happening year-round, which comes off as misleading.
The Odd1sOut store has pretty much all of its items constantly on sale, which may be classified as a misleading ordinary price claim, which is illegal in Canada. I also think this is ethically dubious, given the fact that not only is this deceptive by nature, but also his main audience are children who are far more likely to fall for something like this. And James 100% knows that his audience is mostly children. I am disappointed in him.
As of now, his merch store is closed either to backlash or from selling out all of the merchandise. Who knows which it could be. And all this could be forgiven if it wasn't for the fact that his brandification has gone to the worst place possible, his content. James's videos suddenly felt less personal, less authentic, and way too over the top. The animation suddenly popped off more, the videos were longer, and the thumbnails were something else. The videos didn't feel like the same way they used to, and that's partially because James hired an entire team for it. Each video had multiple people working on it together at the same time. Initially with James, it was just a one-man show, but now with all of these people, it could be up to 20 people working on one video. There could be a whole 5 people just working on backgrounds alone. And in turn, this content felt very...
What is the plot of this animation? Death and love?
Forced. It was like the videos almost had a corporate type of feeling to them. When James was working on these videos, he was working all day, every day. Writing, drawing, editing, it was all on his own. And yeah, when you look at his upload schedule, it doesn't seem like a lot, but that's also because a lot of these videos take a long time to make, especially when you're doing it solo. At some point, he hired these people to help him out. At first, it started with some of the artists to help get the drawings correct, but then it elevated to story writers and editors and the whole kit and caboodle. It's good to invest in your content and treat it like a business, but if it is your business, then it should not be coming at the cost of your quality. And unfortunately, that's just simply what happened with James's videos. He kind of almost admits it himself. And honestly, it's a little hard to put the blame on him. Initially, these videos had so much appeal back in the old days because they were relatable. The stories about crappy roommates and annoying side jobs were honestly things that a lot of people could really relate to. And if they couldn't relate to the exact experience, well, they could definitely relate to James's personality because he felt so down to earth. But now, he wasn't relatable. Being a huge YouTuber with over 20 million subscribers is not relatable. Being worth millions of dollars isn't relatable. Having tons of businesses isn't relatable. Having multiple employees working for you is not relatable. It's hard for James to make videos about his life when honestly it just doesn't have the same charm as it used to.
The most requests I get for a video is Suabwe Part 4, but I never really considered making another one because I don't work there anymore. I have no new stories to talk about the place.
I think most of them are running out of ideas and starting to try to change their content because they don't have any more stories to tell.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I've posted.
You gonna always have some stories. I mean, it's your life. It's like you just never know what life will do to you, bro. Like you will never understand all the amazing stories that you might have. But you got, mind you, these niggas gotta edit this, animate this, frame by frame, and put everything, make sure everything is straight. Now, when it's my story channel, I'm doing a bunch of stuff. Y'all gonna understand.
Today's story time in a while. It's always just like, I went gambling one time, here are my thoughts on gambling. Here are my thoughts on reality shifting. So for me, at least, I'm just more finding what I can talk about for a long time, and then I'm just talking about it.
If he made videos about his everyday life as a CEO, well, it wouldn't really have the same effect. So when he does have universal experiences like gambling or going to IKEA, well, it is something that a lot of people can connect with. The number one thing that really exemplified this, though, was the show Oddballs. In 2022, James officially announced his show with Netflix that he created and produced himself. Now, the show was a comedy adventure on Netflix starring his marshmallow character and his best friend who's a talking crocodile that's the stereotypical dim-witted friend. This show went on for 2 seasons for 20 episodes, and it's very safe to say that it was pretty forgettable. Now, it is impressive that a YouTuber was able to bring his own character to make a whole Netflix series, but the problem was that this was way too much. The thing that made James's videos so likable was completely removed from this show altogether, but at the same time had everything that was unlikable about his videos and made it 10 times worse with this show. The corporate over-the-top animation, while not being as relatable, showed so much in this show. Trying to make the Odd Ones Out into this fiction show that kind of almost came off as this ripoff of Adventure Time really was just not the best idea. And yeah, obviously it's made for kids, so how much can an adult really enjoy it, right? But based on the average ratings for every single episode on IMDb, it seems like a lot of people weren't super fond of it that much either. Now, it's not like the show was terrible. That's definitely a stretch. It's just forgettable and forced. That's really it. The show was clearly trying to be something that it's not. And it's good that he tried to make a show like this, but considering that it only lasted 2 seasons and was quietly canceled, clearly it wasn't good enough to continue. And the show's production clearly seemed to heavily with James's current content on YouTube as well, because during this time his uploads decreased a lot more, his views were going down, and the content again just felt off.
Getting with the team makes it feel all soulless and commercialized. It's all about business now.
Do you want us to suffer more? Sorry. Okay. If you have a team of 6 people, that doesn't mean you're doing 1/6 of the work now.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Again, he wasn't being relatable. He was working on a Netflix show. What is there really to talk about? Clearly, this was not working. And all of this really started to take a toll on James when he had to make the hard decision to fire a lot of his animators and people that worked for him. YouTuber Anti-Darkheart posted in a public Discord about how they suddenly were just fired. The entire TheOdd1sOut team has been fired, which means my main source of income is gone. As y'all know, it's about to be the dreaded tax season. We're about to move. So I'll be doing comms full time from here on out. 2026 has started off as a rather perplexing year, but I believe we'll pull through. Fingers crossed. Now this post went viral on Reddit, which went viral on Twitter, which went viral everywhere else. Immediately there was backlash against James because it seemed so heartless that he was just firing these people out of nowhere, and especially as a content creator who is super rich. And soon after, many other people also came forward saying the exact same thing. Yesterday, I lost my job. It was very abrupt. I was the breadwinner of my household and paid most of the bills with this income I no longer have. A lot of the former employees didn't really seem to know what was going on either. I'm getting a lot of questions about the Odd One situation. Please understand I am just as lost as you guys are with why exactly he dropped the entire team on a whim. We were left with nothing to go off of. We had no idea this would happen. But it's not as simple as it seems, especially when it only comes from one side. James would go on Twitter to address it that he didn't inform everyone personally and gave them severance. I want to clear a few things up. We still have an animation team, and the artists working on future projects will continue to be credited in the videos they participate in making. Last year, despite having a sizable team, we only released 3 videos. This made it clear that I needed to seriously rework my production process. I had one-on-one conversations with every artist involved and had face-to-face conversations with everyone locally. This was not some cold and sensitive breakup. I provided severance packages to all full-time freelancers. This wasn't something I planned on sharing publicly, but since the situation was already brought online, I feel it's important that all the details are understood. The truth about James's videos is that they were not performing nearly as well as before. The more he elevated his team, the lower his views seemed to get. The point of hiring a team is that the more people you get to work on the videos, the more your views go up and the more money you make to reinvest into that team. That's how a business works, and with James, that was not the case here. He was posting less videos, and even then, those videos were getting less views than average. This definitely means that he's probably having a negative return on investment with the people he is hiring here. Most likely, he has only been funding these current employees from the funding of his back catalog. That's not how a business should work. If you have a team of this scale, then ideally you would want to post more than 3 videos a year. I mean, even Mr. Beast does more than that. But it seems like the team is counterintuitive to that because, again, he's not relatable anymore. It's hard to make videos that are appealing. Older videos that he would work on by himself would get hundreds of millions of views. Yet on videos that have 20 people working on them, he maybe can scratch 10. It is frustrating, but at the end of the day, no one is entitled to a job, even though unemployment and financial hardships is something that no one should ever have to experience. James doesn't do anyone any favors here by keeping on animators that are really not providing value to his company. It's wasting their potential, and it's draining his bank account. And the fact that this is the most controversy that James has gotten into definitely says quite a lot. Ironically, when this erupted, it was the first time that many people actually heard of the TheOdd1sOut in a very, very long time. It was a thing that lots of people joked about when this drama erupted, but it also tells you how much his fans have changed. The truth is, the same people who watched him when he was making the Subway stories are not the same fans today. They're all adults now that have outgrown that content. He also has changed completely. He is not the same person he used to be. Now he owns multiple businesses with people that rely on him to pay their rent and feed themselves. It's not fun and games anymore. And that's the con of building a brand on your entire personal life, because as you grow, your personal life changes. It sucks.
In general, I mean, once you're involved in YouTube, everything, sometimes things does change. Like, y'all gotta realize, things would change. Everything would not be just the same thing. Like, you know how you eat cereal and you like, yeah, it tastes good, but it don't taste the same every time when you eating it. It tasting like a different flavor to it. Like they put a different chocolate. Like Cocoa Puff, they put a different chocolate or a different type of cinnamon or, you know, Fruity Pebbles and all that other stuff. Like, it just don't, like, it might not taste the same how it tastes.
Instead,
It just
James had to
depends.
make the tough decision to fire people over it. But that's the curse of becoming too popular. It's impossible to be yourself and be completely authentic while carrying the business forward. Every decision you make has to be aligned with getting more views and making more money each time. If James truly wanted to stay authentic, he would have never hired people in the first place. But that's what you do to carry the...
But anyways, hope y'all enjoyed this video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Just know in life you do gotta change your stuff. You just can't stay forever at the same spot, or people just gonna call you fall off or trash. But in general, you should not worry about what nobody gotta say. It's your life and your lifestyle, and you know you're not a one-hit, one-off, fall off, or you know, none of that. But I see y'all when I see y'all. Lay y'all to the bottom of my heart. We on that road to that 500. We very close to it. We getting it slowly by the day, but we is getting there. We gonna get there. I don't know when, don't know how, but we gonna get it. It's either gonna be this month or next month. I promise you. You gonna see the video when it uploads.